Hello, hi again. I'm Caroline Cole, and welcome to the business of storytelling. Today, we're talking about character work. Yes, so much fun. This is a voiceover favorite of mine. And make sure you stay till the end, my friends, to hear about a way that you can start creating more authentic characters in your auditions as well. So, 3 voiceover hacks for authentic character work. Yes. Let's start with some definitions. While often used interchangeably, there is actually a difference between voiceover talent and voice actor. It's sort of like one of those, a square is always a rectangle, but a rectangle isn't always a square kind of things. A voice actor is always a voiceover artist, but a VO artist isn't always a voice actor. The skills are similar and very overlapping, but they're not exactly the same. For example, you can build a successful voiceover career reading, narrating medical textbooks, right? You can do that. You get paid a lot of money. It's difficult and requires a certain set of skills, but you're not using acting skills to do that. You're narrating. You're honing in on your speaking skills, you're optimizing your voice behind the microphone, and you're probably an excellent enunciator because all that technical language is like super tricky, y'all. Voice acting, on the other hand, requires that you have all the skills of a voiceover artist and then some. You work outside your natural voice most of the time as a voice actor. You're stretching your instrument to create unique voices and sounds because actually a lot of video game characters, for example, require you to communicate intention and meaning without actual language. Just a bunch of sounds. Think about The Sims, right? Or those weird noises I just made, right? And bringing to life a character born of an animator's imagination. It's a whole new kettle of fish, so to speak, being a voice actor. And the people who are the best voice actors are, well, actors, right? And if that hasn't been you up to this point, if you haven't really done a lot of voice acting or really any acting at all, that's okay, don't worry. I'm gonna start, we're gonna have today, and I'm gonna give you 3 top tips that you can implement today to create more authentic characters in your voice acting work. Where this overlaps a lot is in voiceover narration of fictional texts. So you can kind of start practicing it there if you're not jumping into more pure character work. Okay, anyway, let's start. First, number 1 thing that you can get is character art. Always start with character art if you can, because knowing how your character looks will give you enormous insight into how they sound and move. More on that in the next tip. You want to pay special attention to anything specific in the face or the body that could affect the voice of the character. Elizabeth Daily famously created Tommy Pickles' voice from the Rugrats. She created his signature lisp by noticing in the character art that he had huge oversized lips. She noticed that before her audition and used that as a way to, create his voice. And that put her ahead of the pack because her voice matched what he looked like. Using character art also puts you in collaboration with the rest of the team who's working on a project. So often these days, the voice talent, us, records at home in isolation. We don't often have the benefit of live direction. We may not even have a table read. We might not even meet the people we're in a scene with sometimes. At a really high level, you get to do that, but a lot of the stuff we start out with, we don't have those advantages. So you want to get what you can, and having character art to ground your performance is a huge advantage. Tip number 2, posture. Just because your body won't be seen as part of the final product does not mean it should be left out of the process of creating that character voice. Creating a character behind the mic is the same as creating one for stage, right? Or film. Of course, you may be limited when you're in the booth. You might be limited in movement by the size of your recording space. You can't go all out necessarily. But within those limitations that you have, it's really, really super important / imperative that you create the character physically to portray them authentically. For more details on optimizing physicality in the booth, there is another video that I have, and I'll link it below. It's called 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞 in the booth. I'll link that below to optimize that physicality. Okay, third tip for today, backstory. You may get lucky. You might have a fully fleshed out character with a rich backstory included, but unfortunately, this isn't always the case. Don't despair. If you don't get a backstory included, then you should create one for yourself. You want to know where your character comes from, what they've experienced, right? What made them who they are today. And you've got to know their motivations. Those things bring more depth to your performance when you create a more well-rounded character. Yes, even in just your voice, it's true. This should include, you should think about your character's feelings for other people or creatures or characters in the scene, because knowing or inventing sometimes a rich emotional interior for your character, it brings more dimension to your work. And that's what we're looking to do, make these characters more real. Whether you've been creating characters since you performed in your first church musical at 8 years old, or if you're venturing into the world of acting for the first time through voiceover, through that mic, then getting to metaphorically step into someone else's shoes by creating a character is just one of the most enjoyable parts of this job. At least, I think so. I'm excited that you're going to create more characters. Hooray! And I hope these tips really help you out. Because sharpening your acting skills alongside your voiceover skills, those behind the mic skills, technicalities that you need, performance abilities behind the mic, all of that working together will help you broaden your scope of work. You'll book more interesting projects, and you'll create a more dynamic career over the years, which is one of the great things about a creative career. It can kind of spiral off into lots of directions. So break a leg on your next auditions, y'all. Speaking of which, I promised a little something at the end here. So if you are looking to up your audition game, or you're wanting to break into a new niche, then what are you doing on the weekend of April 21st? Are you busy? It's coming up really soon. You might want to mark your calendars for April 20th through 24th if you want to join the first ever virtual audition retreat. Yeah, I'm really excited. We're getting away for the weekend, metaphorically / literally / virtually all together, to just really hone our audition game and sequester ourselves and submit what we can. The good news is registration is open. It's open now. Link below, learn more. I can't wait to get a bunch of talented voiceover artists together so we can slay our audition game, like you might say. It's really something that I think we're all gonna enjoy, and it's gonna be a really memorable experience that will also level up our skills together, I promise. Thanks for tuning in, you guys, to The Business of Storytelling. I'm Caroline Cole. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Follow me on Instagram at Caroline Cole Stories. Hit the like button below, subscribe. These things all help other people find this content, and other voiceover artists come together in our community. I love getting to know you all. Shout out this week to Jeremy, who is thinking about joining us from New Zealand. He was doing for the virtual audition retreat, he was doing a little time zone calculation to see if that's gonna make sense for him. Hopefully, no matter where you are in the world, y'all, you can join us virtually or after the fact. Of course, I'm gonna post the videos a few hours after. I think it's best if you get to join us live, because that would be the best option there. But it's less than $100, and we're gonna hang out all weekend and just submit as many auditions as we can. Oh, there's also a prize. Oh shoot, there's so much good stuff. I've been working on it for a long time. I'm really excited to share it. So below, link, learn more, email me, of course. You guys know, you can always reach out. So I'm looking forward to the end of April. All right, guys, see you next week. Bye.